knowing that it ain't no good. It's all vain. The blood stain being surpassed for useless gain. We ain't changed. What will you change? Come on. I come quick like a thief in the night. No one knows the time, so you better be right.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? How you doing? Welcome to Jarrett Talks Interviews, as I interview people that have their own YouTube channel or business. Today I have a real special guest. He's never been on my channel. I have been on his, by the way, in the chat, learning from him. But I want him to I want him to come on my channel with the real people are. But Big Jack Storytime. Welcome to my channel, man. How you doing? Unmute yourself. Unmute it.
All right, I apologize. It wasn't me. I don't know how I got there, but hey, how you doing, Jarrett? What's going on, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah, doing well.
So please tell the people that don't know about you how you start your channel and how the Big Jack story kind of coming from.
Oh, how I started my channel. Wow. So I started in around October of 2024. So that's when I started my channel. A lot of this came from my daughter-in-law sent me a book when I turned 50 years old, and it was a book about me. It was all about me, and it was had a lot of different subjects in it, and I was supposed to fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when were you born, where you grew up at, and things like that. And as I was filling out the book, I was like, I should just put all this in a video, because my grandkids, they don't want to read about me. They watch the videos and they'll learn a little bit more about me. So that was the reason and how this channel started. That's where Big Jack Storytime came from, because it was like I'm telling stories about my time growing up, my time, and some of the things I've done in my life. So that's where this whole YouTube adventure came from right there. Now, if you look at my channel, you'll see that I think it may say I started in 2022, something like that. Mm-hmm. But that was just where I was using YouTube as a place to store videos for my job, right? Because I do a lot of training, and I was creating training videos, and I was just storing them there. Mm-hmm. But as far as a content creator, that was in October of 2024. Yeah.
So
good.
Well, you when you start your channel?
Say again?
Were you nervous when you start your channel?
I won't say I was nervous. It was just the fact, because I'm telling stories about me, so I know my stories. So I don't have to make believe I wasn't trying to create anything. I was just more confused in a way of what was it looking for? Like, do I need to start with shorts, or do I have to have a long video or things like that? So that's where I was the toss up was. And I have so many different things I like to do. And then it was like, and then everything I was hearing was, you need to be have a niche. What's your niche? What's the angle? And I was like, well, I like to do this and I like to do that. And so it was so many different angles that my channels was all over the place. When I first started, I had like 5 different channels, because I was doing, I like bowling, I like golf, I like this, I like that. And everything I liked had his own channel, but he didn't have to do all that. So that was one of the big things that I changed over the time. It's not, you don't need 5 channels. What I started building was playlists about the different things I like. So if you come to my channel, so now I don't look at it as a channel, I look at it as a cable network. You can come to my cable network and see the different channels and my playlists on my channels. Yeah.
Well, the thing you bought your video. What was your very first video or live that you done when you start your channel? And second question is, do you ever rewatch your video or live and learn from it for the next video or live later on?
Yeah, I can't actually, honestly, I can't remember the first video I did. Once I started doing, I can't remember. If I have to go back and look at that, that's a good one. But I do remember a lot of the videos that I have done, and yes, I do. I'll go back and watch them over, and I'll go back and say, okay, this is, the lighting, or, what are you wearing in the room, all of that stuff. It makes a difference. I mean, but when I first started, it was just like, get on there and post a video, and you didn't think anybody was going to watch it, so you don't really think about it. Right. But now you want to make this thing professional. You want to make it, you want to be as professional as you can, and get the point across and let people see who you are and get to know who you are. And by that, you want to give them a good product. So yes, I watch all those videos over. Then now I'm gonna tell you this, I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't even know you could be monetized and things like that. And I'm not. I am not monetized. I don't have the hours. But my whole thing I wanted to do was go live. I wanted to be live. So when I got to that 50 subscriber mark, and that's all I needed to be live, I was in I always say I was in YouTube heaven at that time, because now I can be on here live. And I like going live with people. So like this conversation me and you're having is, you're right in my wheelhouse right now. This is what I like to do. But YouTube, and nothing against YouTube, but it was very restrictive, because it only allowed you, if you go YouTube, go live together, it was only allowing you to have one person on there with you and things like that. So I think my first real live program that I put together was on my birthday. So that was December of 2024. And I had different people come on doing a birthday shout out and all, but that was still all through YouTube. And because of that, you had to give them different time slots so they could come on, because you couldn't get more than one person on at a time. And because of that, that's why I started looking at other programs, StreamYard, OneStream, Restream, and all those other programs, which is the best one that allowed me to get more people on at a time so that we can move forward. And then I started a show, and that's the Iron Sharpening Iron show. So I am the host of the Iron Sharpening Iron show. We do a show every Wednesday and every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I just bring different guests on, and we just try to have a conversation like we're doing now, and to make each other better, and that's what it's all about.
That's a good thing you brought that up, because that's the same thing I did on my channel when I first started. I'll tell you all my business when I get on there.
Nice.
I will tell you everything. But did you ever sit before you go live and think about what you're gonna say, or were you like talk to yourself like, hey, it's gonna be a good live. That make this conversation a good live. Do you ever think before you go live, hit
Well,
the live button and like, let's do this?
Well, in all reality, what I do is, I mean, I got the list of who's going to be the guests, and before the show, around maybe 2 days before the show, sometimes a little bit longer, I send them a list of questions that I already have. So I send them, it's like 7 to 8 questions that I'm in the ballpark of what I'm going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it's to keep the conversation going. So we'll never have any dead time. So if I ask you introduce yourself, and you start introducing yourself, and we go from there, we can go a whole
Mm-hmm.
hour off of that. But if we don't have, if it doesn't give a spark, then I got a backup question and a backup question, just to keep the conversation going. So that's the one. So do I think about what I'm going to ask? Sometimes you thinking about just a little bit, because but because I've already put the questions out there, my guests already know that I'm going to come in this direction, and this is where we're, how we're going to come across and get the point across. So it makes it easier. It keeps it flowing 100%.
Will you what the name when you came on YouTube? Will you try to make sure the name was not taken from another content creator, or you try to see if it's available to you?
Other than just putting it in, I've been Big Jack all my life. Since playing football and things like that, it was always, Big Jack, Big Jack. So if someone else had it, and they might have Big Jack, but then when I added the Storytime to it, that might have separated it from anybody else. And so that's the big thing. When I did my first show, the Iron Sharpening Iron show, it wasn't called the Iron Sharpening Iron show. The very first person I had on there was Nancy Green. There was a content creator named Nancy Green.
Mm-hmm.
And the first person that I had a side-by-side interview like we're doing now, and someone in the comments in the chat made a comment, you should call this the Iron Sharpening Iron show. And that's how it exploded. The very next episode was the Iron Sharpening Iron show, but it did not have a name. It was just me and Nancy was watching someone else's live.
Mm-hmm.
We were chatting back and forth, and she made a comment. She would love to go live, but she was afraid. And I was like, well, I'll go live with you. And that's how the Iron Sharpening Iron show came. Because I believe, and this is my motto with the show, that we are stronger together, that if each one would just reach one, we can all grow and glow. And that's the whole motto right there. We're stronger together. So together, we can do anything. And that's what I try to get across with my show and my channel.
What the pros and cons being on your show, on your platform? What the pros and cons being a good content interviewer content career?
Well, the thing is, you're live, and a lot of it, I would say, the pros is you get to know the person. You get say, I can watch your videos 1,000 times, but to actually have a conversation with you
Mm.
and ask you what it was like growing up, what was it like as a teenager, your first time buying a car, your first time buying a home, because then you're sharing those experiences you might not even put in video. So that's a pro that I get to know the person a lot better, and not just me, but anyone who's watching get to know the person is better, and to get to know them better. The cons is because you have these tight communities and a lot of people going live, we're almost stepping on top of each other. And you want to respect the person that's going live, trying to build their channel, build their community. So we're trying to find that little happy spot where I can go in and fit in. And then another con, if it was a con, is because we don't know each other. So trying to build that trust to even get your contact information. Like you got my email address, you got my, it's just getting that person to trust you enough to give you their information so that you can send them the link so that we can go live, because it gets a little tougher because it's so much scam out there that a lot of people just don't want to put themselves out there. And I respect that. So that's another, I would say, con to it. But other than that, once you get on that show and we're moving, it's to the point we extended the show, because I have a regular show. I have the 1 hour Iron Sharpening Iron show, and then we have another hour, and what we call it the Iron Sharpening Iron after show, where I bring guests on the stage and we get a little deeper into the conversation. So we have the regular show and the after show right behind each other.
Oh, so you have the live itself, and then the app that the offline. You can talk offline after the show
No,
done.
no, and that's a good question. But both of them are live, but the only difference is I don't allow, when my first hour, the Iron Sharpening Iron show, it's just me and the guests. So like me and you would just be the only two talking. I wouldn't bring anybody else on. But then in the after show, I have a panel of people that come on, and we might have a deeper conversation about something that you brought up, something that you mentioned during the first hour, and we
Mhm.
can dig a little bit deeper into it. So that's where how the after show works. Yes.
What was your very first content creator that you looked up to when you first came on here? And it's like, what
Wow. I tell people a lot of times, Reva Reveal was one that definitely put me on the right track. Just watching her videos, and she had a real good heart, straight talk. And that was the one thing I was looking for. Someone that's going to talk straight, not tell me I'm going to be monetized in 2 days and tell me I'm going to get all these hours. And so I need somebody that's going to tell me it's going to take some work. You got to put some work in if you want some work out. So, and that's
Mhm.
something that I needed. Tiara B naturally was another person. I just loved her smile and her style and the way she put her message across, how she was trying to build communities. And then it was Nemo. Was it 506? I want to make sure I get his name right. But 504, I forgot what Nemo's the number, but Nemo, and he just watching him and that stay phenomenal. Post yourself and move yourself and things like that was what Nemo was doing. And thanks, Mike, for that sub. I appreciate it. So those are the three. Now, I also, when I came on, was the big Dodash push, and a lot of people was chasing after Dodash. I wasn't one of those people that went that direction. It wasn't. I can't say I didn't see the videos,
Right,
but I
right.
just didn't. It wasn't that. That just wasn't my flavor. That wasn't the thing I was about. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm an uncle, I'm a grandfather. I got a lot of things going on. And yes, I could just keep posting videos after this, about all the different things that I've done in my life and which I have shared. But at the same time, it was, this is my passion right here, is being live. And because of that, I found what I'm looking for. I'm right where I want to be, doing what I really want to do. So yeah.
Out of the 3 people that you mentioned, if uh, did any one of those 3 people give you any kind of advice before you came on before you started?
Uh, Nemo 504 was the one that gave me probably the best advice. And one of the first, without even knowing he was doing it, he mentioned what happens when people come in your chat and and they're not your friend, and they're not on your community, they're not on your side, and how to handle that. Because when you're out there, you see people posting negative things and all, you got to know how to handle that. You have to keep going on with the show. You got to keep going on with the flow and not get caught up in the fact that somebody's out there trying to hurt you or whatever. And the way I look at it is, as long as you in there making comments and stuff like that, I'm getting watch hours and I'm getting views. So you helping me. Even if you're trying to shut me down, you're helping what I need anyway. You're giving me what I need. Now, if it gets to a point that you're starting to bother the other people in the crowd or in the chat, and that's why you got other moderators out there, and they'll shut it down. But that was the advice, because sometimes you don't think about it until it happened, and then it's like, all right, what you going to do when it happens? And because someone had gave me the advice up front, when it happened, I was already ready for it, and I was already prepared. And that's where you want to be when you go in, especially live, because you don't know what's going to come out. You don't know what that person's going to say, and then you got to already have a way to shut it down. So on my show, we don't talk politics and we don't talk religion. Those are the two things I will not talk about on my show. I don't say you can't talk about faith, and I don't say you can't talk about things that's affected because of politics. But what we don't talk about is the politics or the religion. Like one religion is better than the other. I don't, because it's unnecessary. So if I can keep that going, and then it's a family, I have a family friend show. My mom's on the show, my son's on the show, my aunt's on the show. They come in and talk. And because of that, I try to keep it as clean as possible. My mom is out there watching in the chat. So I want to make sure that what's being said. So she learns a lot about me and some of the things I've done once I got to college and stuff like that, because we're talking about it on the show. She's like, I never knew that. Like, oh, well, I didn't tell you everything.
Yeah. Look, Mama, if you watching this, we're being good. We're being good.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
we're being good, Mama.
Yeah.
But
that's it's good. Matter of fact, when her 70th birthday, she was a guest on my show, and it was an amazing show. We had a really good time out there, shouting her out, which was just a couple of episodes ago, but we had a really good time. And for her to step out and go live and be side by side with me live, and that was amazing. So these are things that we can do that before YouTube and other platforms, we just didn't have that opportunity.
Do they have a YouTube channel, or they just wait for it on your channel?
They don't have their own channels. They're not content creators. They just have a channel only because they support. And so they have a actual channel, or what do they call it? They have a subscription in a sense, but they don't have actual channels. But I've had so far, because my oldest son has a band, so he's performed on my show. Because I also do a show at the last Saturday of every month. We do a show called We Be Jamming Live, where I bring different musicians on the platform, and we just jam out. So Brown Girl, hello, how you doing? So we be jamming out, and his band has been on my show. But another one of my sons has been on the show because what he does in his profession. I've had my brother on the show. I've had, so I've had different people on my show. So that it's good that my family have been very supportive and have helped me, keep the flow going. And now we're at the point that, we're booked up into June right now, and as far as interviews and things like that. So it's all working out. So I'm super excited about that.
I was going to go back to that advice. I know you, your YouTubers friends gave you some advice. Did your mom give you any advice before you got on the platform?
We talk once the show is over, and I ask her how was the show, and she'll tell me what she thought about it. So I wouldn't say she gave me so much advice, but it's just when I first was on here, she was saying I was talking too much. So I would let your guests talk. So because I like to share my stories too, but at the same time, she let your guests talk, and that way they could get that. That's what you brought them on there for. So it's like, okay, so I worked on that. And then my wife gave me some advice as well. So when I first, my questions at first was all about your channel. How did you start your channel? How did you do this? How do you do that? And we're talking to content creators. But she after a while, that's boring because everybody's pretty much got similar walks. Everybody, we started somewhere, we found a niche, and then we moved on, and now we're starting to trying to get monetized, or you're already monetized. So I had to change my questions up, and then on my after show, I have a regular person that comes on the panel. So he's always with me. So that's one of my best friends in the world, but he always come on the panel, and because of that, that helps too, because that's a regular face. It's almost like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, in a sense, if you want to look at it that way. So people start looking for my man Walt. So that's my boy. But when the after show start, they're looking for Walt. They know Walt's going to come on with his wisdom and some of the things that he got to say, and because of that, it makes the show flow. So yeah, starting to flow. But yes, I do get advice from the people watching.
That's good. What's the best thing being? I know you said about the community of everything. Do you love what you do right now? Real honest. Do you love what you do? Second question is, if you weren't a content creator, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Oh wow. Well, I mean, I have a regular 9 to 5 job. I mean, I have a career. This is fun for me. This is a hobby. So, and like I said, I love to play golf. I love to bowl. So there's a lot of things that I can do outside of this. But I really, really like what I'm doing here. I really like being on YouTube, and I stream too, because I use StreamYard as well. So I stream to Facebook, and then I make sure it goes on to TikTok, and I go into Instagram with it as well. It's just TikTok is StreamYard and TikTok are not linked together. And then Instagram only allows you to do 1 hour. And because my show is really 2 hours long, you're only getting half. So those are the ones. And I've even thrown Twitch in there, but Twitch is we haven't found that we haven't jailed yet. So, but we're still throwing it out there. But if I wasn't doing this, I mean, I still like doing videos. So prior to being a content creator, I used to do like a lot of what they call brand promoting. So if a person, like if you're like your logos and stuff like that, I would create those, because I just like doing things like that. So if you ever watch one of my shows, you will probably see a lot of commercials and stuff that I put together, and different intros and things that I do that just on my side. That's a hobby for me. So throughout the show, you're going to see different. So I put in my own commercials, not YouTube commercials. These are the commercials I create, and it's to boost up people, the channels, or upcoming shows and things like that.
I know you mentioned your son in the band. Do you ever and then you let them play on your show? But did you ever know that if you get copywritten, if if the live goes up, you can try and make sure that particular live don't get strike?
Right. So we look at that. So because I'm not monetized, and I'm not really chasing after the monetization of it. When I do like the We Be Jamming live show at the end of the month, or the last Saturday of every month, I'll let a person sing whatever they want to sing. And if it gets a copyright strike or whatever, I'm just like, we can always take the show, and because really once it's live, it's live. So the only thing they're telling us now is I can't replay it. So we just make the show private after that. But when it was live, it was live. So you got to hear them play live, you got to hear them sing live. And then after that, we just can't use it for monetization. But with all that being said, it's just one of those, if that's that person's gift, if they need to use what they call it, when it's somebody else's, I forgot what it's called now, but if they need to use somebody else's song to get their gift across, go ahead and do your thing. Because I've now built a better relationship with the people from the Philippines and people from Germany, and people, because of the fact that they're singing covers. That's what they're cover songs. And now we're able to have them on our show and on this side singing for us. And it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing to hear them. One, they speak a foreign language 100%. We already know they're from the Philippines, they're from Germany or whatever, but they're singing in English. and I'm understanding what they're saying. I know I couldn't sing in the Philippines. I couldn't sing
Right.
in German.
Right.
I don't have that. I don't have it, but they're singing cover songs in my native tongue to the point that that's like, wow, that is amazing. And to me, that's highlight that thing. I'm 100% about promoting them. So there's another content creator, and he has a show every Saturday, Dapper PH. And so it's there in the Philippines, but every Saturday they do a big, almost like a concert. And he was on my show, and he came over. So we had to change the times and everything because they're 12 hours different from us. So we had to adjust the times of my show to line up with his. But he brought some of his singers on, and we had a really, really good time. That was a really good show. And it's just one of those. But when it was over, like you made the comment, it was copyrights everywhere. It was like, that's copyright, that's copyright, that's copyright. So the only way I could show the interview, because it was a really good interview, was to cut the interview in half. So I cut the interview, so it was just me and him talking, and then all of when the singing came in, I cut that out so people could see the interview, and they couldn't see the songs. But it was all good. We had a good time.
What after each live or video, you ever look at the comments and see that are they positive or negative? If there are negative, do you ever keep them or you just delete them?
I don't delete anything. So whatever you put out there is going to be out there. If you want to put yourself out there and leave negative marks, everybody that sees that video from now on going to see that negative mark. So you can make yourself be the most positive person in the world or the most negative person in the world. See, I never done a video about this, but I always thought about it. What happens if someone ever clicked the thumbs down? You know, so we always people tell them click the thumbs, you know, hit the thumb, give me that like button. But what if they hit the don't like button? How do you feel if you get somebody to hit that don't like button? And that's where, you know, we didn't do a video about it, but I'm like, man, because people have opinions, and because you have opinions, I'm gonna respect your opinion. But at the same time, it's not going to change me. Look, Jarrett, I'm 54 years old. 54 years old, right? I got grandkids. I got a nice career. I got a beautiful wife. I got, it takes a lot to shake me. And in the comment, what we calling them keyboard warriors that come across, a keyboard warrior trying to come across and trying to shake me, you ain't got enough juice, right? It ain't enough juice. So
First of all, you ain't 54. You don't look your age. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
You see all that gray going on down there. You see all that gray going on down there. But nah, 54. Unless you're gonna tell me I look older.
No, you look younger than that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm 54, man. 54
no, you're like
years
34
old.
still.
No, I'm not there. Look, they can donate this. They can donate this body right now to science fiction, Brian. But I'm done. I'm done.
But yeah, I'll say some though. But if you were with what is the shortest live have you done, or the longest live have you done? Short don't count. I'm talking about the lives only. The shortest live have you went, and the longest live have you done.
Okay, so the first one I would say, because it was 1 hour long, so that was my short. That was the first one, my 1 hour. That's before we had the Iron Sharpening Iron, had an actual name and all of that. Because I try to respect people's time. And remember, we were talking about the other people that's coming on, other people that's going live and things like that. So, so I was like, hey, for 1 hour, me and you going to talk. And then when that hour was up, it was up. So that was my shortest. The longest, I think we've probably been a little bit over 3 hours. Matter of fact, longer. I did a special on Super Bowl Sunday. And on Super Bowl Sunday, I had 2 guests on, and we watched the whole Super Bowl. Well, we were live during the whole Super Bowl and was giving updates of what the game was going. So we had a good time going back and forth, communicating with each other. But that was probably the longest one. It was the same distance, the same time as the Super Bowl. And because everybody's not going to watch the football game. So we gave them something else to watch. They didn't want to watch the game. And we went back and forth, had a good time. That was my second longest watch hour video, where I had that many the views and all that came up. So it was a little bit, and not saying a lot for, but it was a little bit over 60 watch hours or something like that. So which was good, for me. and we had a good time. So I had Nemo 504 on and Mind Games. So having them two on, it was Super Bowl Sunday. We really had a good time, and so my shortest was 1 hour. My longest was that Super Bowl Sunday one, and it just tried to make it special, something special about it. So, like I say, I have a Wednesday and a Sunday show, and a lot of holidays fall on a Sunday, so I can make special shows. Like when my Mother's Day show is going to be special, and the Father's Day show is going to be special. So, there's always going to be those times, especially on Sundays, that we can drop something special in for just for the holiday. Yeah.
So when you, wow, and with the with the longer with the Super Bowl Sunday. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The, you said you did updates of the entire like the entire.
Yeah. So you're using your ticker that's going across the bottoms now, and you'll
Oh,
post up
okay,
different
okay.
people. You're doing
Oh,
people's whatever they're putting in the chat and things like that. Well, we
mhm.
was doing that with the show. Every time someone scored, we would put up what the score was. It did someone's Philadelphia just scored, and we would put it up there. So I was constantly changing my tickers and so that we could keep it flowing and keeping everybody updated on what was going on for the game.
Okay. Here's a question. When you plan, when you doing like, when you had something entertainment, you had something to do while the game plan, like you have like a game that for people to play with, or you just sit back and chat with the uh with the game.
Yeah, what I had my two guests that was on, and we just had full conversation the whole time, just like me and you're talking now. But as the game was being played, so I had another uh, basically a device sitting next to me that was showing the game. I just, I could see when they scored. I would put it in. We would talk about it. And then after a while, a lot of people that was in the chat, they started talking about it too. They started telling us that so-and-so just scored, or the halftime was this, it was terrible, or it was good. So they all had their comments, and we were talking about the game without actually showing the game, because then you'll get the big copyright if you try to show any clips of the game or whatever. But I mean, other than I made different what they call it different logos for the
Yeah,
Eagles and the one
yeah,
for Kansas City, and we would
yeah.
put them up and things like that. So we had a good time. We had a good time. That was a good show. Yeah.
Now I remember you said you got 5 channels, right?
I had 5. Yeah.
Okay. If you had, I know you do this like the majority of the time, but if you had a second channel, what would that second channel be if something goes if something goes wrong with the main channel? What,
Yeah, my other channel it was my the one with the most subscribers was a
Mhm.
bowling channel. So what happened is when I was going bowling and because all my boys, all my sons, I got 4 sons, so all of them bowl, and then so when we go out, we go, and to this day, well, I'm sorry, until 2024, and my oldest son is 31 years old. So until 2024, none of my boys had ever beat me. Never, 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 never. I do not let them beat me in nothing. I don't care. We could be playing jacks. We could be playing pickup sticks. I'm coming at them with everything I got. And they know it. They know it. They know it. They know it. So we could be playing tic-tac-toe. It does not matter. I'm coming at them with everything I got. And because they know that, when they beat me in 2024, and that's all of me, my youngest is a teenager, and so I'm like, I must be getting old because they got me. They got me, man. They get me. So, but it's all good because they know they earned it. And that's the whole thing. You earned it. I didn't give you anything. I'm not going to let you, and I don't care what we're doing, I'm not going to let you just get it. So because of that, they earned it. But it wasn't until, so my other channel is bowling. So that's like I say, I focus a lot more on that. When we go out practice, we might do a live then so people can watch us practice. And so, because every shot we shoot is not a strike, even though we're pretty good. And I'm pretty good. I am pretty good. But we don't always throw strikes. So, and people should see that part too. And that's why I like going live, because everything, like even when this started today, for whatever reason I was muted, and so but that's live. So if I tried to edit that, or if you was doing a video and then went back and edited, you wouldn't see that part. I've cut all of the negatives out of it, and everything is positive. But we're human, and humans going to make mistakes. Humans going to have issues and glitches, and what are you going to do when it happens? We just move on, and that's the bottom line. Yeah, 100%.
So when you do go bowling and you put the live button, do you talk before you go before you bowl, or you
Yeah.
just okay?
Yeah,
See,
I'll do a brief conversation to say where we're at and what we're getting ready to do, but then after that, I'll just point the camera towards the lanes, and you'll see us come up, and I'll get behind the camera and commentate what's happening, what so and so's up on, he got this and that, and we'll keep it going that way.
so is it on StreamYard or is it on YouTube app? Cause I know we mentioned about we trying to invite people on the YouTube
Mhm.
app. It happened to me because I said I'll tell you everything that you have to send them by Facebook or Instagram to do that because you can't and email you can't do it
Right, right.
on one person. But do you ever find out when your sons actually when they finally beat you? Do you ever get mad at them, or do you put them in a punishment? What do you do if you get mad?
No, no, no. And I've heard people that done that before, and so I think that's pretty sad. But my thing is, they worked hard to get to that point. They worked hard to beat me. So even if it's and they have never, none of them have ever beat me in a whole set. So a set is 3 games, if you didn't know. So if you're bowling, it's it's 3 games equal a set. So I've never lost to any one of my boys in a set. So they haven't beat me 3 games in a row, but they have beat me 1 game. So with all that being said, no, I wouldn't punish them. It's I can tell you this though, I do get bothered. I do get bothered. I get bothered. I get upset. And they see it too. And you probably, if you was watching my live, you would see it because you like he ain't talking as much as he was talking at the beginning. So yeah, yeah. So and if I do start talking, I talk a lot of trash to them to try to psych them out. Because if I can get in their head, and that's the whole thing, if I can get in their head, I know I can get them. But they're getting much better, and they're starting to, and because they're getting older, they're catching on to that psyching me out, and it's only making them better people. Because when they're out there doing something in the world, in their jobs or playing for the high schools and all, and someone trying to get in their head, it's like, look, dude, my dad had already did all that. You can't get in my head. You can't hurt me. And that's the bottom line. Yeah.
You ever get frustrated when you go live and something happens to you, like when you like something happened to your channel? You ever get frustrated?
Yes, I would say frustrated because you still got to move on. But I've had where guests didn't show up on time, So now, and the thing is, I got to hit that live button. We have a certain time. Like I schedule my lives. My lives are scheduled all the way up till June right now. Even through StreamYard, I schedule them way in advance. And when 7 o'clock hit, I got to hit that button. So now the part comes of what are you going to do when 7 o'clock hit, and you hit that button? You got to have enough dialogue to keep you moving and keep it going. But here's again, I like myself. I like the stories. I got a lot to talk about. So because of the fact I got things to talk about, I just turn that into a conversation of me, which I was doing before there was a show. So, like, I don't know if one of my videos, if you ever check, I was on Netflix once, right? I was on Netflix. So one of my videos, not a live video, but one of them that I've done was about my experience on Netflix. So if you go on Netflix right now, you'll see me on Netflix on what was it called? The Mr. McMahon. I think they did a special on Vince McMahon from the WWF
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
WWE.
I think
Well, the very first episode, I was on that show. I was in there. So you'll see me.
Please. Say that again.
I'm
Say it
saying
again.
the very first episode, and it was probably, I want to say 22 minutes into the episode.
Uh-huh.
They interviewing Tony Atlas, and
Right.
they was talking about Tony Atlas,
Mhm.
and then they started showing some kids in the crowd when they was asking the kids some questions, and I was one of those kids, and that was, I think we said we've counted it up, but that's had to be about 40 years ago that I was on that, and I didn't know I was being interviewed. I didn't know they was going to put it on Netflix,
Wow.
and I'm not getting not one penny for it, but I was one of those kids. So, and when we was watching matter of fact, my cousin was watching it, and he was like, "Man, we're on Netflix." Like, what? Like, yeah, you got to. And I'm tuning in. I'm look, yeah, that was me. So, but I got a video. If you go to my
I,
channel and find that video, and it just says I'm on Netflix, and listen to the
listen,
story.
okay, what's the name of it? I might have to get when my come here. What's the name of it on your channel?
The episode is on my channel is called I'm on Netflix. So
Okay,
that's exactly what it was. But the show on Netflix is Mr. McMahon. So they did a show on Mr. McMahon and talking about Vince McMahon from the WWE. And the very first episode, I'm on that. I'm on there. Yeah, 100%.
how you get on the show? First of all, how you get on that show?
What happened? It wasn't like I say, they were interviewing kids about a question. Matter of fact, the question was they were talking about how Tony Atlas made a comment. If you wanted to know what was going on in the world, all you had to do was watch wrestling because a lot of
Mhm.
their skits and stuff was based off of acts that was going on in the world. And at that time, this was even before WrestleMania 1. The WrestleMania 1 wasn't even out yet. So, and at that time, Hulk Hogan was the American man. So you had Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, Mr. T was out there with them at that time. And
Mhm.
then you had the bad guys, which was like Roddy Piper
Piper.
and the Iron Sheik and
Yes.
Nikolai Volkov. So you had the Americans versus the foreigners, and that was like the
Mhm.
thing. So they asked, matter of fact, it was me and my cousin, we were standing in line, and my cousin's younger than me. And they asked him first, what wrestler he didn't like. And he's standing there like a deer in the headlight, don't even know which one to say. So I whisper in his ear, say the Sheik. And so he says the Sheik. And the guy was like, well, why you don't like the Sheik? And I like tell him, because he's from another country, man. So, and that was the whole thing. So as a kid, you thought we don't like you because you're from another country. And the thing is, what we said about that was that was the mindset then, and that's what they were promoting because it was good versus evil, or good and bad. And I was like, man, something that I said 40 years ago that I don't believe, but how could that come back and haunt a person? Like if I was running for politics or something like that, and they're like, well, Big Jack is not a good politician. He don't like foreigners. And look what he said when he was 14 years old. And like, wait a minute, that's not what I. But you don't think about that. You don't think that someone's watching you. So that's the thing what we share with anyone on YouTube and stuff like that. The content that you put out there, even when you made a comment about if someone put something in the chat but I delete it, no,
Mhm.
because that's going to be with you.
Right.
That's on YouTube forever. So if that's what you had to say, man, put it out there and let people see who you really are, because that's what you're getting ready to show us.
Oh, you got to look on Netflix. But since you brought it up, who are your let's talk about wrestling. Who is your favorite
Ooh,
wrestler? It don't matter
that's
if now or back then or
yeah, back
now.
then. Yeah, that's a good question. Growing up, like I said, I was a Hogan fan, so I was
Mhm.
about Hulk Hogan when I was growing up.
Mhm.
I like The Rock. I mean, I like the entertainment part to it. But if I was, I'm looking at it now, and I'm still a fan, so I go out there and I watch and I look. But I'm that underdog type person. I like to watch that person that, had to pull themselves up and get to that point, and watch them, struggle to get there. So what's his name? L.A. Knight, I think that's his name. I think that's
Yeah.
what he's going on. Yeah, that's who I'm rooting for right now. One, I'm in the state of Maryland, so I'm in Maryland, and he's from right up the street from here. So I'm like, even
Ooh.
though they push him out to make him seem like he's from LA or whatever, he's from up the street. He's
Wow.
from right up the street. So he's not, but that's the same thing with the Iron Sheik. So people don't know that the Iron Sheik was from Maryland. He was living in Maryland at the time. So it's like, here, yeah, you putting on this role and doing this skit, and acting like you're this person. But in all reality, these are real people doing real world things. Like, I don't know if you remember, and I could be showing my age now, George the Animal Steel. Do you remember George the Animal Steel? He was a college professor. 100%.
Wow.
He is one of the co-producers of Apple Computer.
No.
But
Look,
when
I'm learning something now.
when you see him, you're like, nah, this guy, no, he was a college. That's why he could never win the belt, because he could never defend it the whole year because he had class. So you only seen him come out on certain times. And when he came out, and what happened when he was a child, he matter of fact, now I know who my favorite is. Now that I'm going this flashback, but when he was a child, he burned his tongue real bad, and he had to use a secrets. So it was a green secrets to keep the tongue, and that's why his tongue was always green. And they just went with that and kept it like that. So it's like, that's why when he licked put his tongue out, it was green, and everybody thought he was like a madman and this and that. It's all a game, bro. It's all a game.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So
wow.
So my favorite, now that because I went down that little memory road right there, it would have been Andre the Giant. I think he was probably the best, and just his spirit, everything he was about was all about the game, all about how we're going to promote this thing and make it a special for everybody. And I think he did a wonderful job doing that, and it was definitely sad to see him have to phase out, and then. But like anything else, that's how you grow business. You gotta, take the good and move it out and put something better in its place, and that's where we were. So Andre the Giant would have been my favorite, but I'm a fan of all of them. I really love the whole thing. So yeah.
As we finish the good conversation, what kind of advice you want to give to the people who want to start their this journey on YouTube, and for the young generation? What kind of advice you want to give to them?
Very good question. And I know a lot of people always say just start. Don't. But my thing is, honestly, I would tell anybody to start. Have a goal. What's your goal? What do you want out of this? If you and once you know what you want, then you know what direction to go. If you want to use YouTube to make money, and you can, then I wouldn't say just start. In a sense, you have to get started. Everyone had to start somewhere. But at the same time, if I want to make money, then it's like, okay, let me put a plan together to make the money. So that means I know find out what you need. So you're going to need the 4,000 watch hours, and you're going to need the 1,000 subscribers. And I would say make sure that you're building both at the same time. Don't focus on one and then leave the other one, or focus on, vice versa, because then you're going to find yourself short. You get your 4,000 watch hours and don't have the subscribers, so you can't get monetized. Or you got your 1,000 subscribers and no watch hours, you can't get monetized. So let them grow together, because then that way it will work out for you in the long run, and you'll get there faster. If all you want to do is be live, you just need, not only say just, I hate when I say that because I say it to myself, but you need 50 subscribers. And those 50 subscribers that allows you to go live. Now you're live. You're out here. You're putting yourself out there, and people get to know you. If people like you, they're going to follow. They're going to subscribe to you. So, and the big thing, what I would tell anybody is, you have to like yourself. You have to like yourself. Get out here. Don't be so worried about what other people think of you. What do you think of yourself? What do you think of yourself? What do I have to offer anyone who's going to come on this channel? Anyone that's going to come to my channel, what am I offering them? And I want to offer you something that's going to allow you, or want you to come back. You think about it. If you go to a restaurant and the food was bad, you're not coming back. You're not going to say, let me give them another chance. And you're just not going to come back. But if it was really good, you putting that on your list. I'm coming back. I'm going to check them out. And the more we can give a person, the more we're going to get them back into our channels. And then the other part I would say, and it was find yourself in a good community. So, either start your own community and link up with other communities. So like Jarrett, and right now you have a whole different community than what I have. And I'm glad we're able to find each other. You found me in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that you did, because
Mm-hmm.
now these communities are about to gel up. They're about to merge, and it's only going to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? Your neighborhood, my neighborhood, and instead of fighting each other,
Right.
because I like to say, I'm not in competition with you, and I hope you're not in competition with me. We're
Nope.
just gonna make it better. We're gonna make it bigger. We're gonna make it
Right.
stronger.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Because again, I don't have anything that you can take from me, so I can't be in competition with you. So
Right.
and because of that, that's a big thing I would tell anybody. You're not in competition with anyone but yourself. All you're trying to do every day is better yourself. I want to get better at this thing, but you have to start. Until you put yourself out there, and you got to figure out what it is I want to do with this, and how far I want to go with this, because it is time consuming. It takes a lot of time to be a content creator. It takes a lot of time to run these shows and things like that, because once you start building that schedule, you're locked into that schedule too. You you can't get sick. You can't, I want to go on a break. I want to do this. I'm gonna do it because now you got people already lined up taking their time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hope that they can adjust, but sometimes they might not be able to adjust. And then it's like, what you're going to do? And that's where it's like, okay, or if they call off, like, man, I think I have a backup plan. So what's your backup plan? Where if so-and-so can't do it, I either gonna do it by myself, or I got two other people lined up to come on if I need to. Or you might be running another show, run a show that you already done, and we're going to show it again, because it's like, hey, TV do it all the time. How many times you seen a rerun on TV? 1,000. I love reruns. So,
Right.
but I think that would be my advice to people coming in, getting started. Is one, you got to get started. The other one is set a goal on what you want, and even if you are not 100% sure, having it somewhere on paper to say, these are things I want, it will help you get towards you. Start seeing that stuff come to life. And that would be it right there.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know what? I'm gonna take that advice. That's really look, that's deep out there. I gotta take that. But again, thank you for coming on my channel. But I know we're supposed to go live at 8 o'clock, but I had to do some trying to
Oh,
get
yeah.
you out of here. So I thank you for coming up here and showing some love to my interview channel. I would love to come up. As a matter of fact, you can come on my main channel also. I'll go live if Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:15. If you're at work, you just come in, you hit the like button. But thanks for coming up and get to know you better, all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
and I would love to do a favorite to you channel, and I'm actually free except Sunday morning. I'm actually free in day week. Just come get me. You got my email address. You just let hey, yeah, you want to come on my channel? Say sure. I'll be there.
No,
I'll be there.
no,
I'm actually free.
I got you. I got your email address, and I will definitely make sure we find a slot and get you on there. Even if it's on the after show on the panel, you get to come
That's
on up
fine.
there and hang out with
That's
us.
fine.
I could get you there a lot faster than the regular show, just because of schedules. But at the
Oh,
same time, we're always looking. I'm always looking for somebody good to come on the after show,
yes,
because
sir.
it just brings a deeper conversation, and that's how we build up to it. So, but thank you for allowing me to be on your show,
Yes, sir.
Jarrett Talks interview, and I enjoyed myself. Once this thing is posted, I'm gonna make sure to share it to everybody on my channel, my world, my community. And I do have a community. I'm gonna share that before we roll out, and that's
Hey,
hashtag
hey,
grow.
hey,
Go ahead.
go ahead. This is my main channel. This
Right.
is my main channel. That's why I go live every day. Monday,
Okay.
Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. There it
That's my
is. I see it.
that's my main channel. That's my go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday,
So
Wednesday, Friday. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Jarrett Talk. This regular one. That's my main channel.
No,
So,
that's good. That's good. But no, this was fun, and I enjoyed it. I know you had things to do, so I don't
but
want to take up your time.
uh, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down, and I'll see you next time we go live. All right.
Not a problem. I appreciate it. And thank you,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, bye.
Let's see here. Y'all, that was one of my good new content creator, Big Jack. I'm glad to have him, and I'm glad to get to know him a little better. and it was great to see him. So the next interview was supposed to be in yesterday. I mean, on the 3rd, but I had to get my haircut. So next next Thursday will be Boogie Time. Will be Boogie Time, and that will be at 5 o'clock. So I want y'all to be there at 5 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be gonna have fun. Gonna have some music playing. I'll make sure my sound, my music, my mic's off, so if they want to play music or anything, we'll do that. So other than that, I'll see y'all on the 10th. I'll see y'all on my main channel next Monday, I think. Yeah, next Monday. So we'll be back up on the bit channel. Get that to 2K. Get this to 300. I'll appreciate that. So, and again, I'll see y'all the next on the 10th with Boogie Time. All right, Jarrett talks out. Peace.
In your sleep or maybe in the streets, you will never know, so you better be ready. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now.
What would you do, dog, if you got that knock at the door and it was God like?
In your sleep or maybe in the streets, you will never know, so you better be ready. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now. Are you ready? Y'all should be ready now.
What would you do, dog, if you got that knock at the door?